If you're old enough, you probably remember a time when Pluto was classified as a planet. And you will probably also remember a time when Pluto was reclassified and then debated and finally reclassified again as a minor or dwarf planet. And you might also recall the number of people who were totally pissed off about this. The thing is, if we knew then what we know now, Pluto probably never would have been classified as a planet in the first place. Similar objects in the solar system have been debated in the past as possible planets and haven't been added to the list ultimately. And so you ended up in a situation where the only reason that Pluto really became a planet is because we grossly overestimated the size of this so-called planet. Now, as time went on and we observed it better, we ended up with better estimates which kept making it smaller and smaller until it really didn't fit with the other planets. It was already kind of an oddball in the first place, but now it was really out of place among the 8 other planets in the solar system. With the discovery of yet more similarly sized objects, a couple of which are actually larger than Pluto but don't traditionally fit the planetary role, we were forced to reevaluate exactly what a planet is and come up with a formal definition. And the issue here is that in order to come up with consistent definitions for what a planet is, we would either have to exclude Pluto or include a bunch of other planets that had never really been considered planets before. And so they went with the first one, exclude Pluto. The arguments for keeping Pluto a planet are largely those of tradition. Well, in my day, there were 9 planets, and this was a planet, and Pluto is still a planet to me, damn it. And in the past few years, there have been several efforts to redefine what a planet is again so that they can include Pluto. Some of these definitions would add 30 or more bodies to the list of actual planets. So instead of having to memorize Mavem Schnupp, yes, I grew up on Saved by the Bell, you instead would have to basically memorize alphabet soup. Personally, the current definition makes sense to me. We have 8 bodies that behave in similar fashions, that meet a similar definition, and then we have other bodies in the solar system that don't quite meet that definition, even though at first blush they might appear to be the same thing. But here's also the part where I'm going to admit that I wouldn't really be burned out if they decided to reinstate Pluto as a planet, or if they added 30 more planetary bodies. It's not going to affect me. The thing is that there's so much outrage over something that most people are never going to be impacted by in any way, shape, or form. Because honestly, it's amazing to me that people get so worked up by change that they will take something that will never affect them so seriously and go to such extents to try and force their traditional way of thinking, the old way of thinking, to be the only way of thinking, when now we know better. You know, it's like this is a metaphor for something.